Greetings, listeners. Thank you for joining us at the LookBack Podcast. I'm Nick, and I'm sitting here with
Will
and Phil.
It's good to have you guys back. It's good for you guys to join us here at the LookBack Podcast for episode 69 of
Nice.
the Roundtable. It's been a while. We're on this new schedule here of, once a month. It's different. We had you guys come in for the Formula One LookBack show. I had Donovan in for the Pro Wrestling LookBack show. Don't forget to go check out those. But how you guys doing?
Doing pretty good, actually. Oh.
I'm wicked. Feeling good.
Nice. Good to have you back. If you guys don't already, go follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the LookBack Show. Like I said, at the LookBack Show, Instagram and Twitter. Send us a DM, comment, subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. If you don't already, go to iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, YouTube, Google Play. That's where you can find the show. You can find the video on YouTube. And go over to teespring.com/thelookback if you want to get yourself a t-shirt, a mug, a sticker. I'm thinking about making a flag. Me and Donovan were talking about that.
Are we still doing a hat? Are you thinking about a hat?
The
still?
hat is tricky. I'll talk to you about it off air, but the flag is doable. And I think
like a big flag or a small flag?
Both, but I'm thinking like a big one that we could put up in here.
Oh, okay.
Like for when we do the different shows, maybe
a banner.
start videotaping more of the LookBack shows. I don't know.
You
Possibly
could do the Japanese kind of thing where they have like the scarves or like the long ones, when they that say Rainmaker on it or whatever.
I'm picturing like the soccer scarves is what I'm
kind of it's kind of like that, where it's more like a towel kind of thing that they hold up.
We can look into it, but I know Teespring at least provides a banner that we could look at. But don't forget to check out the sponsor, Hemp Labs Canada. Check them out. New sponsor. We were sponsored before, and we are sponsored again. This is amazing CBD oil. Phil himself has been taking it.
Yes, I have tried it. It's felt good. I've used it on the weekend, and then Monday morning going to work, no pain. I felt energized, ready to go, and then I actually kind of screwed up and stopped using it for a day or two. But I definitely feel a difference as of today because I was sluggish, very sluggish this morning. Yeah,
me and you talked about it a little bit before we jumped on the mics here, and it was kind of a good thing that you stopped doing it because you can kind of see the effects of how useful it is.
Exactly.
So don't forget to go check them out on Instagram. They're hemp_labs_Canada on there. There's a bunch of affiliate accounts for different locations depending on where you are in the country or in the province. But that's the main one to follow them. Stay updated there. Like I said, at hemp_labs_Canada. It's 100% Canadian product. They've got bath bombs, they've got cream, they've got oil, all kinds of different stuff. I've only used the oil myself, but the reviews are incredible. There's hundreds of reviews out there, so definitely go check them out. And if you want any more information on that, check out at j.brothers on Instagram, and he will he'll be able to let you know any more information about the product. But definitely good stuff. Check it out. But in the meantime, we are here for the Roundtable. Like I said, episode 69, the LookBack Podcast. Nick, Will, Phil.
Will,
we're missing Don, but it's okay. We like I said, we went away. We did our LookBack shows, and now we've come back for the Roundtable. Different topics. That's what we said, right? We were gonna one topic for each guy.
Yeah, we're gonna try to stick to that little motto.
A little bit different. I know me and Will may talk a little bit about the Royal Rumble later, and then the three of us kind of talking about some F1 at the end of the show. But if we might as well stick with our theme here. Why don't you start us off, Phil, with your topic that you've come up with this month or this week or this episode, I should say, because we don't really know how many.
Within the last hour? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I just mean we don't know how many, how often, I should say, we're going to be doing the Roundtable. It may be once a month. It may turn into once a week. I don't know. So at least for this episode.
I'm just hoping I won't have to think as hard from every topic every time.
Yeah, I came up with mine pretty quickly about 5 minutes before we came on the air. So sometimes I feel like the pressure helps.
Yeah.
Maybe wait.
Well, for you maybe, but for me, I'm kind of glad that I kind of thought of this. What was it when we did the F1 look back? That day was a snowy day, very very snowy day. And,
it was.
And so from the game I thought of that I would be interested in, because we all sim race here, sim drive in a sense here. Mm-hmm. And being in Canada with this snow, and that day, a Canadian snowplow simulator.
So what's your topic? What's your topic? You got to let the people know your topic.
I thought you. Oh, okay, my bad. Well, I just screwed that up. So if you could develop any type of game, even whether it be any genre, no time restraints, no restrictions, anything that you could think of that you would want people to play or yourself to play, what could it be or what would it be?
Snowplow Simulator.
Snowplow Simulator. You got to think about it.
I
There's
mean,
American Truck Simulator.
Yeah, truck
and
simulators,
Euro
farm
Simulator.
simulators. Those are all big.
It doesn't.
Someone would play a Snowplow Simulator.
100% someone would play it. I'm surprised that it doesn't already exist.
Maybe it does.
You would be surprised that farming simulator has an esports scene, and that's not a joke.
How does
insane.
that work? Is it based on how much corn you harvest and who can
Kinda,
harvest more
and
corn?
How
Because
fast
I've
your
played that
crops
game.
grow?
I played that game. Shout out to an old buddy that used to do farming, and I'll be straight up with you. I couldn't have played the game as well as I was playing it if I wasn't with him, because he was explaining for me, oh, now you need to go there and you need to drop off the corn and then you got to do this, and it's a pretty serious game. So I get behind you with that being a possible thing. What kind of are you putting a career mode, or is this a pure 100%
you can
sim
have career mode because
game?
Car Mechanic Simulator works in the way that you could start your own shop and you start with nothing. So you could start like that. You could have an old raggedy ass truck with some little plow on the front, and you're doing driveways to moving up to doing highways to doing streets to doing neighborhoods to possibly even managing multiple trucks doing routes.
That's so funny you brought up that game, because
It's rolling into effect already.
But I almost bought that game on Steam when I first got my new laptop, and that was one of the games, Mechanic Simulator, Car Mechanic.
Should have done it.
I know.
2018?
Well, low key, I was if I did buy it, I was gonna buy it and not tell you, and then hope I could just walk by your bay at work and be like, hey, what are you working on there? You need a hand with that?
You gonna take those 6 bolts out?
You need a hand with that ball joint there?
You need help with their blinker fluid?
Yeah. Want me to hold the doohickey there?
You want me to bring the vacuum to clean the car? No.
But yeah, no, it's I don't know. That would be I don't know how often I would play that Snowplow Simulator.
I don't know how often. I don't even know if I would even buy it myself. But
Who knows?
there's a definitely a community out there that would probably get a kick out of it. If not, YouTube content makers would definitely get a kick out of it.
I'm probably some peripheral maker like Logitech would probably make some kind of
let's hope
adapted steering wheel or a little controller for the plow
with like a little control, bro.
You know exactly, because we have one at the shop.
That would be perfect. That would actually, I don't know, it'd be a good idea. And I think there would be certain areas of the world that the game, I don't know, I've been watching a lot of TV and I've been watching a lot of this show, Life Below Zero, and People in Alaska. And I just think that's the type of game that, I don't know what the PS4 computer PC scene is in Alaska in northern Canada, but I feel like that's the type of game that would really excel up there. I really got something in my eye here, guys.
Yeah, I would just find it, fascinating to be able to work your way up from some little truck to a bigger 2500 to a point that you see the trucks on the highway with those huge plows that are throwing the snow 50 feet off to the side.
Bro, you just blew my mind. Okay, see,
you could work your way up, or you could have an open world. Your own little multiplayer. You have infinite money. Guess what? Boom! I just want to drive on the highway with that truck and just throw snow and salt the road.
Well, now you need to have an arcade mode where there's the no snow mode that lets you just plow through cars for fun.
Oh, there you go. That's a mod. That Steam Workshop. Mind blown.
No, you just blew my mind when you said work your way up, because automatically when you said this game, I'm picturing a big rig plow that's with the massive dump truck of salt on the back and the big rig. I wasn't thinking about a F-150 with a plow on the front of it.
Yeah, bro.
And having to do local and then working your way. Oh my God, yeah, that would be a cool game.
Start with your own driveway with the Brigden Stratton blower.
Yeah, that would be a cool game.
That's how Car Mechanic Simulator works. You start off in your own little one bay, barely can fit anything in a garage, to then expanding that garage to expanding it even more to the point that you have 8 cars and 10 cars that fit there.
And do you have guys
with a dyno
working for you?
No, it's just you.
It's all you?
Yourself running around. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But
that could be pretty cool though. Either way, I like the idea.
Yeah. I found that. I found it so funny when I was driving here that day, and I was like, this would be amazing for someone.
Would it just be a Canadian simulator just here in Canada, or would there be a Euro snowplow simulator
I'm sure you would have Russia
Sweden or
Finland,
Norway?
Yeah, absolutely. At that point, you can do whatever. I'm just saying Canadian simulators because we're Canadian show or whatever, right? Woo! Oh, Canada.
Shut up.
But obviously America gets snow too, just as much as we do, if not more, in some of the states that are close to us. So
yeah, some of them. Yeah.
Fucking
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
That's hey, our accent's not far off. So.
Oh, they get a lot of snow there. I got a friend that lives in Minnesota, and oh my God.
Yeah. What about you, Will? What kind of game are you thinking of?
Ooh, it's a toss up for me. Part of me wants to do an old school JRPG turn-based kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Another part of me kind of wants to do kind of what Forza's doing now, but slightly a bit different with the Horizon series, where it's like an open world game where you have like the Need for Speed customization, the car list of like a Gran Turismo and stuff like that. Basically, all the big racing games combined. I'm kind of split, but I think I'm going to go with the JRPG idea because I feel like it's a bit more unique.
Well, that's what I was going to ask Phil too, is like when I'm thinking about my answer for this question, should I be thinking 100% based on my wants and needs, or should I have any thought in my mind thinking like, is this game going to sell? Because we've established
at this point, it's for you. It's for you.
Okay, because I was going to say, we've established with your game that it's kind of checks both boxes. The game's probably going to sell.
That just happened to be. But
and it's your idea?
Yeah.
Okay, because,
Let's say personally for you, if you could have someone design any game or whatever. It'd be,
no budget cap. No,
exactly.
Yeah, of course.
What would you want to be popping into your Xbox or downloading on your PC?
Yeah.
So for me, it's going to have to be like the old school JRPG, turn-based, old Final Fantasy. But my favorite game of all time is Legend of Dragoon. It's a turn-based JRPG. It's back on the PS1. It's got 4 discs when you had to have multiple discs for the games, right?
So is that like you get to like 3/4 or 1/3 through the way, or a quarter, I guess, in that case, through the game, and you
you got to swap the discs and
reinstall and or whatever. Wow.
It's old school like that. But one of the reasons Legend of Dragoon kind of stands out, aside from it being 4 discs and having a huge epic story and stuff like that, is when you do the combat, normally a lot of people complain with the combat of JRPGs, and you just hit attack and then you wait for the next turn. What Legend of Dragoon does is when you attack, you have to then time your X presses, because it's the PlayStation game, with the time of an on-screen prompt.
Mm-hmm.
And when you time it right, it extends like a combo.
So it's like a quick time event that just kind of keeps your combo timer going.
And it keeps going if you don't mess it up?
Kind of, yeah. Like you have different ones you can use that you can select, and each one has different lengths, and sometimes the enemy you can counter and you have to press a different button in the middle of it. But something like that, like obviously it's a JRPG, so story is kind of up in the air what you want to do, but like that kind of idea.
Did you have any idea for like what kind of I'm not trying to put you on the spot by any means. I just didn't. So you're basically thinking some sort of like fantasy, Final Fantasy type game.
Open world?
But what distinguishes your game from JRPG?
Well, let's mix it up. Let's go with a sci-fi JRPG.
Okay.
Like when you think of JRPG, you kind of think
fantasy.
Swords, magic, and stuff like that. Let's go sci-fi. Let's mix it up a bit.
Change it up.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Star Wars kind of laser swords and stuff like that.
Is this like top-down 16-bit, or is this like a third-person approach to battle and it's turn-based?
We're going 3D models.
Okay.
I think we're going to try and do similar to kind of what Mass Effect 1 did, I think.
Okay.
Where it's like you have different planets you can land on.
Yeah, fill me in a little bit. I haven't played Mass Effect, so.
In Mass Effect
I know the game. I just haven't played it as far as...
It's just like you have different planets you can land on, or moons or whatever, and you can roam around in your car and whatever.
Okay.
But instead of roaming around in your car or whatever, like you have your ship to travel to different planets, and each planet you go, I guess, is a story, but because it's a 3D open world game, each planet is its own kind of unique open world with different enemies and different monster types.
Sweet.
Nice.
So it's almost kind of like Destiny, what they did with their planets and whatnot.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So you would do the same sort of idea? No,
same sort of idea, but like a turn-based RPG. Not what they do now in Final Fantasy, where it's kind of like a meter that fills up and then you attack or whatever. But the old school, like you wait your turn and then attack. But doing something with the combat or with the magic as well to kind of mix it up, instead of it just being you hit attack and then wait for the next person to go.
Yeah.
Fair
so
enough.
You can kind of combo your attacks. Okay, that's cool. And with magic and whatnot.
That would be cool. No, it's a good idea too. I haven't played enough of those to fully paint a nice picture of what that game would be in my head, but I think it would probably sell in certain parts of the world for sure.
Definitely.
I like this topic. So mine is odd. I don't want to... I don't know what this says about me, but this is a game that I've thought of since, I want to say I was like 11, 12 at that time, maybe even younger. I don't know. Just like I thought that would be a cool thing to play. And this is so basic, so simple, and almost stupid. I don't know if it would even work. But like basically, I think it would be wicked if you played like a game called Life. And the game started out and you were a baby.
Isn't that a board game? No.
That's kind of where I got the idea from when I was a kid. I'm not even kidding. But you start, and obviously you'd have to have jumps because it's a game and stuff.
Time skips and stuff.
But yeah, like maybe the beginning part is you as a baby and that's teaching you the mechanics of the game. But the part that I say is boring and why I don't know if this would get made is because there isn't really a main objective. The objective is to live the life of this person.
Yeah.
And to experience and do, obviously, the reason why, you know what I mean, I asked if this game should be mine or sold is because I don't know how popular this would be if people would want to just live the life of a person in a game. It's like you can kind of just go live your own life.
But can you be anyone in that game? Can you become anything in that game?
But it's up to you to become. There's no like picking and choosing traits at the beginning. It's all based off.
I think that would be pretty popular, man.
If you wanted to become a Formula One driver, you would have to actively learn to drive, would get better.
When you're a toddler, you'd have to pursue racing and karting of some kind, or vice. If you want to
take PR classes in high school or whatever, and
exactly. So, but you would jump through life in maybe I don't know what kind of chunks, but I mean, right from having a mini game of building blocks as a baby.
Yeah.
And then
you're learning your motor functions.
And then you're learning how to draw, and you're learning how to write, and you're doing all these things. And maybe by the time that if this game was ever made, it would be a VR thing where you're physically doing it.
Yeah.
And you're basically living.
That would be a perfect VR game because you'd be able to go through the steps like you said.
Exactly.
So for each area, say when you're in that, I don't know, say 6 to 9 age.
Yeah.
Would it be done in the sense where it's you have a certain amount of time you have to do all the things in, and then it jumps to the next thing regardless of what you've done?
That's the part that gets tricky. It would almost be, because it's a video game and we'd have to have some kind of structure, you would almost need like a certain number of boxes checked. Like let's say there's 20 boxes, but you need 8 checked to move forward. You can check more, but if you check certain ones, then certain things move forward.
You get your major and minor tasks kind of, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you want to skim through life, then you can skim through, or if you want to take more things and learn more things, even as a kid, like those things would just be applied to the different
TV
age.
or read a book.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And then you could, if you want to take extra classes in high school, then that's one of those extra boxes would be completed extra classes, but you need that to get into the college
or university,
or if you want to take those
minimum.
Certain tasks open up other tasks later on,
just like in the Game of Life, the board game, where I think if you choose college over university, there's certain jobs that you just can't even apply for, just like in life. And then you could literally work your, I don't know how long, maybe it would be ironic and cool if, I mean, you couldn't set a time on it because of what we said with the boxes, but it would be ironic and cool if it was like 24 hours of total gameplay time would be a life. Just to make it 24 hours in a real day. I don't know, and that wouldn't even...
My idea for that, just to kind of add on, is like you mentioned having some amount of boxes before you can move on, but what if instead of it being like you have to complete at least 8, but you can do less or whatever.
I'm making all this up on the fly. Let's build this game right now.
The idea would be like, let's just say you have, I don't know, 6 to 10 hours of, let's say 10 hours. In 10 hours, you can either accomplish whatever you want to accomplish, or you do nothing, and then you move on to the next part regardless of what you've done.
Yes.
So then it's like, if you don't do your high school, you don't get your high school degree, you don't get your job, and then you're
homeless or whatever. Not that to say
your
anybody.
Parents are pissed off at you, yelling at you every day to get a job. But you can't.
And there is a rock bottom in the game. Like there is a version of the game where you are homeless, and there's also a version of the game where you're a CEO of a company. Like, not to say that it's like the success is being a CEO and being homeless is unsuccessful. Okay, obviously, you know what I mean. Being homeless is unsuccessful, but I don't want to make it like
it's up to you to get there.
Yeah.
If you do nothing, then you're going to get nothing.
I just didn't want to paint the picture that like the CEO is like beating the game on hard. Because that it's up to you. The whole point of the game is to be the person in that game that you want to be in the game.
You gotta also think about it though, in real life situations, sometimes the higher power people fall into a slump, and those people in a slump build themselves up. So even if you got to that rock bottom, quote unquote, you could still not necessarily be stuck there. You could move up.
You could be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, but you don't have a wife, you don't have kids.
Yeah.
Or and then
too,
now because your mood comes down, your depression, and all of a sudden now you start going into alcohol or drugs or whatever it be abusive, and then now you're getting fired from that CEO position. Now you have nothing. Now you're losing your house. Now it's
that's what I mean. It would
would actually be very interesting to play.
It would be
so many routes.
Yeah, like it would almost be too big in today's day and age to make a game that's that big. But think about the potential. And I'm not even kidding. This is something that I've thought of since I was that young. Just how cool would it be to play a video game that's just the game of life?
It reminds me a lot of Detroit Becoming Human.
Yes.
Because of all the different routes you can go and choose. And if you miss this clue, this will affect that. Or if you don't do this, it's going to affect that later in the storyline. And I played that game through once, and the second time I didn't even have the same route I was going at all. And
you let me borrow it.
Yeah,
about
I'm pretty sure you
5
have it
months
now.
ago, and I don't think I've played it yet.
That was a while ago.
But it's because the PlayStation's down.
Well, I have your game too, so I haven't played that
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn. Yeah,
another good game. But yeah, that it would be interesting. Like I said, it would almost be too big. I just thought of this as you were saying that. You would almost have to make the game be procedurally generated in some kind of way. That when you make a certain decision, then the next part of it is procedurally generated. So it can't be, because it would be life. Like life, it's not planned, right? It's all happening as you go.
Yeah.
And I just think because of the too many webs, you would have too many and then eventually there would be...
Oh, it'd be incredibly difficult to make, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I just, even right down to eating and everything, like you'd have to do everything to cook. Yeah. I mean, even if it's simple, like go cook and push A and whatever, but I don't know. That would be my game.
That would be interesting. I think that's very interesting.
That would be my game. So that was a cool topic.
No, that was right from the top of your head too, eh? Interesting.
That one was not.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry,
yeah. You thought of the idea though, but adding all these little things.
Adding
right
all
now.
that was just us making up the game on our own.
That's
but I've had the idea for the game of life since I was a young lad.
A young lad.
Young little
game
salsa
developers,
chip.
if you're watching.
This guy right here.
Never know.
And this guy too.
What about? Do you want to go next there, Will? Your topic?
Sure. All right. So I've been meaning to ask you guys, because I'm listening to all kinds of music. I listen to rock, a little bit of, not necessarily hip hop, but a little bit of electric and metal and stuff, like a whole bunch of different kinds of music I listen to.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the genres I don't have a lot of in like my Spotify playlist is rap.
Okay.
The few rap songs or artists I know are either big names like Biggie, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, stuff like that,
Tupac,
or just songs that have been in like
Easy.
Video games, like you play Tony Hawk's Underground, whatever, you hear the rap songs.
Yeah, or even Grand Theft Auto games.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you guys for maybe some recommendations for artists I can listen to.
Yeah, I might be a fan or two. I got a few
I don't know,
vinyls around.
I don't know.
I changed them up for this
There's
week.
a few
They're
here.
different last week, or last episode, I guess.
Okay, so my question is for you.
Yeah, I got a question too before we
right.
start.
So you just named off Biggie, Eminem. I'm assuming Eminem, right? Okay. Who else did you say? Snoop. So that's an older style. That's an older style of rap and hip hop. Is that what type of style you want, or do you want to be listening to like the newer wave?
I was gonna ask him something different to kind of like set the table, kind of figure out how your mind is working anyway.
Okay, yeah.
What kind of music of the music that you do listen? Like, give me like maybe some of your top 3 favorite albums, if you can remember a specific album or even just a song, or some of your artists, just so I can kind of get a gauge. Like, because if you start giving me all names of people that came out since 2010, then I might hear my rap conversation different than if you start talking about Led Zeppelin.
Well, that's where part of the question comes in, is I don't know too many artists. I kind of know what kind I like to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the artists that I can name is LA Symphony, Jurassic 5, The Herbalizer, stuff like that. I kind of prefer the more lyrically, like where they do a lot of wordplay to drive the song.
Are these people, do you know those names?
Jurassic 5, yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
I just don't know, because I've never heard any of the 3 names you just told me. But I'm not a big music guy. I listen to almost exclusively.
Donovan probably could elaborate more, but yeah, Jurassic 5 was one of them.
Definitely. That's what I was going to say. We wish Donovan was here for this question, because it would be a little bit different of an answer, I feel like, coming from him, because he knows a lot more than I do, at least. But Phil's got a lot to say too.
If you're into that wordplay, then I would... and Jurassic 5 has a very, very significant style. I would say a Tribe Called Quest.
Okay.
That's a big one. So it's Q-Tip and Phife Dawg. Those 2 artists, and they had a hell of a great few albums, Electric Relaxation, and I believe another one I can't name off the top of my head right now. So keep that in mind. Tribe Called Quest. Wu-Tang.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard of Wu-Tang, obviously.
Yeah.
Have you heard of some of the Wu-Tang stuff?
Dude, the one that's right behind the pink one there.
I've heard everyone talk about Wu-Tang, but I've never heard a Wu-Tang song.
Right there.
That's the one you need.
That's the album you need right there. Get that on as soon as you can.
36 chambers for the people that are listening.
So you always got to remember, there's multiple guys in this, right? So if you like a particular style of one guy, say for example Method Man or Raekwon or Iron Man, you can find them themselves too. So you can always break that down. Going forward, maybe Nas. That's another one. He's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's newer stuff too, but that's what I was gonna say is like, at least for my opinions for this, I feel like I can only give you a certain era and a certain way, because if like honestly, if you're to ask me this question, all I would say is I would give you, 3 or 4, maybe 5 albums, and I would say go listen to these, and then come back and tell me what you thought, and then we'll go from there. That being Me Against the World, Tupac, because that is by far my favorite hip hop album ever to be released. Probably my favorite music album ever. Right, I'm a big Tupac fan, so I'm going to give you a lot of Tupac. But this is hip hop and Tupac kind of go hand in hand. The one right behind you, All Eyes on Me, which is a double disc by Tupac.
Okay.
Nas, you guys just mentioned, Illmatica, another one I have on the wall right now. I'm trying to think, like, stuff that I go back to all the time. Again, stuff that's all over the wall here. Documentary, that one there. Game's first album.
NWA you can go into. You can go into Eazy, Dr. Dre, the Chronic album, right? It depends on what years you want. But you're talking about lyrical, older wordplay. Do you mind the scratchy DJ style too? Having a real DJ? So you can even go back to like the early 90s, late 80s with like Too Short. Yeah. Boogie Down Productions, which is KRS-One. I'm going to see here.
Depends how far back you want to go, but you can go
Naughty by Nature, LL Cool
Grandmaster
J,
Flash if you want to go way back.
Yeah, go way back.
Another kind of is like that I like is when you go back to the like I guess late or mid 80s and early 90s, where it's not necessarily all heavy wordplay and stuff, but the backbeat is really strong.
Incredible.
Kind of like that
Jay-Z.
hip hop, not necessarily rap in that sense.
Yeah, shout out to Donovan, because again, everything I'm going to give you is something that any hip-hop head is going to look at me when I'm saying that and go, well, yeah. Because most of the stuff I listen to is like those classic albums. Most of the stuff I have on the walls here is the stuff that's the generic, the stuff that's in everybody's
that's like
hip-hop list. I'm not one to kind of go and dabble outside of that stuff. I listen to a lot of classical music and stuff when I'm not listening to hip-hop and the old school hip-hop stuff. So that's why I feel like I don't have too much to say. But again, Iron Man...
You can check out Outkast. I know if you obviously heard of them. Far Side, they were a good artist too. Trying to think. There's a lot of them that just don't come to the top of my head, but it's just simple as just looking for like I would say like quote unquote golden age hip hop artists, and that's when you can really find some like old school guys that were underground and not really heard about. And
What about, I guess for one more genre, what about fast rap? So kind of like Tech Nine, Bus Driver, a bit of Eminem here and there.
Busta Rhymes.
Okay.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes was really fast back in the day too.
Yeah, back in the not my style. Like even Eminem, I prefer the stuff that's a little not slow, but slower. Like if you go back and listen to like a Recovery or something like that, you're not going to find many, Rap God, Godzilla type songs.
Kendrick Lamar,
on
he can
that
go
album.
fast too. It really depends on the persona that they're going to be using at the time when they're rapping. Logic is good too. That's newer age, right? Logic, but Logic is great. Don't get me wrong. For fast rap, why can't I think of other than Tech Nine? There was another guy too, Twista, I think, or Twista.
Yeah, I don't even know. You said Bus Driver. I don't even know who that is.
The only reason I know him is because I mentioned video game. He's in Tony Hawk's Underground.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
that's cool. It's cool to.
I mean, if you want after the show, I can probably find the song and play it for you.
Have you heard Eminem's new album?
I haven't.
He has some. There's the one in Godzilla. It's a big song right now. Everyone's hyping up over.
Okay.
His last verse is actually in 30 seconds. It's 230 words, which beats his Rap God record that he held, which is sick as fuck.
Yeah, that's insane. I just at this point for me, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm all. It's not like I'm like saying, oh, that's whatever. It's no big deal. It's still a big deal. It's just he's beating his own records, and it's just not my style.
Well, that's one thing for me. Yeah, sure, he's beating his own record, but you don't see anyone else trying to beat that record. I guess someone could try and maybe eventually get it, but for me, his music is still about the metaphors, his wordplay, and the way he is able to express a painting in your head with just words. It's, storytelling.
As for artists that I can actually like artists I know multiple songs of that I listen to regularly, probably be Hopsin. And E-Double. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he was kind of more of like a YouTube rapper who did a lot of freestyle stuff.
Hobson's that like Jigsaw type guy, right?
Yeah, but he's really good. He's really lyrically creative.
Yeah, see, I forgot.
Ill Mind of Hobson 5.
I just forgot that name existed. I just remember it from when I worked at HMV and his physical CDs being on the shelves. Wow, I forgot about that name.
Eminem shouting out in Kamikaze.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No way. I just forgot. It's just, until you said it, that name completely left my mind.
My biggest thing I like about Hobson that I have a problem with a lot of rappers is when they rap, it's like they kind of fudge the words a little bit to try to make them rhyme.
Yeah,
so it's kind of hard to understand what they're saying. But whenever Hobson raps, I can understand what he's saying 100% clearly.
No, I know exactly what you mean. It's not necessarily the mumble rap style. It's more of just literally twisting a word and pronouncing it differently to make it rhyme with the next word or the last word that he needed or they needed.
And it's just a different style now. I watched an interview with Lil Wayne, and I think he said it best or perfectly, in my opinion. It's now when artists are making music, or at least hip-hop artists, they're thinking about how it sounds. Like, they're not listening to it. They're just hearing it. You know what I mean? And Lil Wayne kind of described the difference between listening and hearing. You can listen to something, or you can hear something, and then you can listen to something.
He's actually one of the artists that you can go back and listen to his older albums, and they're actually really freaking good.
Even Carter 3 is like a special album for me as far as high school and as time of my life, and just a certain place, you know, where it resonates, I guess.
Yeah.
But that being said, don't forget to go check out our boy Donovan, because he puts out some pretty good shit too, and so does my boy Nibs, because I haven't talked to him in a while since he moved out to BC, and I'm rocking his t-shirt tonight on the show. So go check out him at Nibs Nation, and then check out at the Don Hour. I think he's got a Don Hour music page too, but his music's really good too. I got to be honest.
I listened to his Rick Root song. It was really good.
Yeah. I think before we close out this part of the convo, though, I think we need to give him some homework. I think you need to pick 2 albums, or maybe an artist and an album that he needs to come back, and maybe the next time, hopefully when Donovan's here, because I want to continue this conversation, especially with Donovan and maybe even other people. Miguel, hopefully from work, that'd be cool. Shout out to our boy.
So you want a wordplay? Do you want more storytelling?
I think you should, not what he wants.
Okay, so
give him what you want.
2 albums?
2 albums that you think he should listen to, and then come back to you and tell you what he thinks about them.
Okay, because you named Jurassic 5 right off the bat, I'm going to tell you A Tribe Called Quest, okay?
Okay.
I'm
going to need you guys to write these down and send them to me.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll get that after the show. But yeah, Tribe Called Quest, Electric Relaxation, I believe, is the album.
I think that's the name of it. I know which one you're talking about.
And all these are on Spotify or whatever as well?
Yeah, Spotify or iTunes.
Yeah, they
should be at least. The second one, I'm going to say... That's actually I don't want to go... You know what? Boogie Down Productions. By all means necessary.
He bought that vinyl for me for my birthday. No, it was up on the wall for episode 68.
Yeah.
I just switched them around for this.
I'm just gonna say, don't be afraid to tell me a big name, because like I've never heard a Biggie song other than Notorious.
Yeah.
Like,
so if that's the case,
give him Ready to Die.
Yeah, Ready to Die. So 3 albums, okay?
Just give him.
By all means necessary.
That's a lot, though. That's a lot of albums to listen to.
Ready to Die.
I got a lot of time when I
fair enough. Okay.
PC, game, iTunes on. Go.
Yep.
And Electric Relaxation. Those 3 albums. That's what I would say.
Me Against the World, Tupac.
Okay.
Without a doubt, you got to listen to that. The next one is tough, because I don't know if I don't necessarily love the whole album, but I want you to kind of hear the different style that it is, and it's very old, and I can't remember the name of it. I think it's Life is Too Short by Too Short. And it's Too Short's first album. If you go on Spotify and you go to his discography, it's the first one. It's blue, and there's a picture of him standing behind a tombstone. I think it's called Life is Too Short, but I'm not 100% sure.
I have him here.
That's the name of the single, like the most popular song. And then, I guess, are we going to give him 3? We're going to get 6.
It's got time.
Because you already said Ready to Die, right? Okay. I'm not going to give you All Eyes on Me. I'm going to wait till we come back and you see how your homework did. I'm going to give you this one here, the documentary, The Game, because that's, I mean, it's my boy. I have to give you one of those. So documentary, All Eyes on Me, and Too Short's first album. Or not All Eyes on Me, sorry. Me Against the World.
I thought you were going to point to Illmatic, because that's a story and a half if you listen to it from front to back. I'll tell you that.
You know what, then? You know what? Yeah, I will do that, because I gave you 3 West Coast, and I feel like I should give you somebody on the East Coast. So Game, documentary, Tupac, Me Against the World, and Nas, Illmatic.
Yeah.
We'll write it all down.
All right.
And we'll give it to you, and then next time you're on the round table, we'll definitely get your opinions of it. If Donovan's here, we'll continue this conversation, and he can give you more of his kind of influence in that kind of stuff.
I know you don't watch TV as much or at all, but do you have Netflix?
No.
Okay, we talked about this last time. He's got just Crunchyroll. He said he watches like 2 different animes, and that's it.
Okay, you got to find a stream for Hip Hop Evolution.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's like what is it, like 3 seasons?
Find
but there's
a-
only
find a-
4 or 5 episodes per season.
Go find yourself a legal stream of hip hop evolution.
Yep.
Okay.
Stream it from Netflix.
Make sure.
Right.
But
no, you will find your style that you're possibly looking for, I guess, in a sense, but you will also see the different types and how it all evolved into what it is now.
Yeah, and that
which
show
is
will help
amazing.
you with what he just said,
And you'll understand all these artists, all these like Mobb Deep, Nas, Wu-Tang. You'll understand what they went through and how they came about and everything. And you never know. You'll find that one person and you're gonna be like, that's old school, and I like that.
Okay.
You'll find the genre. That's what I was gonna say. Is just the genre that you like better, whether it's West Coast, East Coast, South, banging stuff, slower hip hop, R&B.
Yeah,
whatever,
party music, or
whatever
if
it
it's,
is. You'll find
gangster rapper and whatever.
You'll find that on there. But yeah, so that's your homework. Should we say them one more time or no? I think
No, we'll get to them after.
We'll write it down.
Yeah, we'll write them down after. I'm just making sure the listeners know. But we're definitely gonna talk about it next time. So I'm expecting you to listen to some of these albums. I guess we should move on to my topic.
Moving on to your topic there.
The one that I came up with.
The surprise.
The surprise.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're
anxiety levels going through the roof.
Well, since I haven't taken like a real one in a while, like a real long, extended, proper 7-day one, I want to talk about vacations
Oh.
with you guys, and kind of more just a conversation about what you prefer. And I'm more just curious to gauge different people, especially, being two guys I do podcasts with and see on a regular basis. Hot, cold. Are you looking more for sights? Are you looking more for relaxing? Are you looking more for a beach? Or are you looking more for, I want to go in the city and put my backpack on and see stuff?
Okay. I have a bit of experience with vacations because my parents, they recently bought, not necessarily a timeshare, they bought a condo down in Mexico. And they go like twice or 3 times a year now.
Okay.
I don't know.
Snowbirds.
That sounds pretty good.
Not necessarily snowbirds. Like they went in December and they're going again in April. But this resort in Mexico that they like. But so I've gone to Mexico a lot of times.
Okay.
I really like the weather. The food to me is a little iffy here and there, but the weather and just going down to relax is my biggest thing.
So
I'm not going down to like I want to visit this place and then this place and then this place. I want to go down to sit by the pool, maybe go for a swim, have a drink or two, like just sit down, relax,
how much? Okay, now I don't want to get too detailed about this either, but like, how much do you have to contribute for that?
What do you mean exactly?
Because it's a family thing. Are you
Okay.
spending a lot of pocket money to go on this specific trip that you're talking about?
My parents don't usually take me. When they bought this down, it's normally just a 2 for them thing.
Yeah.
But
of
if
course.
I go down, it's usually all they make me do is pay for my own room. Usually.
Okay. So there is some sort of
no flight. That's all,
and then the room and everything's paid for. Okay, so that's a pretty awesome deal.
Mhm.
I'd be pretty down with that too. I just wanted to kind of gauge because I'm trying to think like, for me at least, my answer comes down a lot to money and being able to afford certain things and that kind of thing. So,
But I will add, I prefer going on a cruise over going to a resort somewhere. I prefer having.
so you've done the cruise thing.
Yes.
How many? I don't want to get a number, but have you been on enough trips in your life that you've been to a couple beaches and a couple cruises?
Yeah. I've been on 2 cruises. Both of them are Carnival cruise ships, and I've been to a bunch of different resorts in Mexico.
Okay. Whoa. Carnival cruise ships.
Yes. Like it's like a company.
Interesting.
It's a company, not like.
I was thinking. Dun, 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 dun,
No.
dun, 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 dun. There's like circus.
They're called Carnival. That's the company.
You got me
name.
excited. I'm thinking
They have like a big,
elephants
like
and peanuts
colorful
and-
whale tail on the top of the ship and stuff. But I prefer that. I find there's just more stuff to do on the ship. I find.
Then there is a.
At
on the
just a
beach.
resort without having to go somewhere that's like a 30-minute taxi ride away.
So you're kind of a mix then, because.
Kinda,
you
yeah.
like the hanging out on the beach, but at the same time, if you can be on a cruise ship and not have to sit by the pool all day, you're down with that too.
Yeah.
But is that because you can do bowling and rock climbing and
Yeah.
all these different
Yeah,
things
yeah.
on a cruise ship that you can't do?
Like sometimes when you go to Mexico and you can go on that, whatever, it's only like a full day of something, right? So like you take a 30-minute car ride somewhere and you do this thing, or you explore this water park for whatever, like a day, and then you go back to the resort. And on the cruise ship, it's like, okay, maybe I'll gamble for 30 minutes to an hour and I'll go to the arcade for a bit, or now I'll go by the pool.
That does sound pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I have yet to go on a cruise. I've been on one trip, as far as like a beach trip, one trip to Jamaica. So I've only done that the one time, but I'll keep going. Sorry, I just want.
Yeah, I just prefer the cruises over that, and it's not necessarily the healthiest lifestyle. I can remember going back to all those Carnival cruises having like the soft serve ice cream machine that
A little too much.
yeah, just kind of
Oh, you could make your own.
Yeah, you just grab the cone and go up to it, and you just kind of go until you feel like it's enough.
Oh shit, yeah, that could get dangerous.
A
Especially
9-year-old with
Fuck the
unlimited
cone.
ice
I'm getting a
cream.
bowl.
that's what I was gonna say. As a young kid, that could get dangerous, man.
The only downside having the cruises because we'd always go on the cruises by around Mexico and stuff. So like they would always land in places around Mexico, like Panama and stuff like that, right? Is that you would always the cartoons? I always went when I was a kid, so the cartoon channel is always in Spanish.
Oh, that's probably funny. Bugs Bunny in Spanish and whatnot.
It's because it's America, right? So they have Nickelodeon.
Okay.
No, not Nickelodeon. What's it? That's the other one.
Yeah,
Cartoon
what am I-
Network.
what-
Cartoon
Cartoon
Network.
Network.
What am I? 55 going right to Bugs Bunny immediately.
Yeah, what were you thinking, man? Jeez.
Yeah, we don't get Cartoon Network up here. We don't get that.
We used to. I
We
watched Cartoon
I know
Network
what you
as
get-
a kid.
I knew we used to.
Buddy.
We get Teletoon.
Curious. What is his name? Curious something. The Cowardly Dog. Something.
Yeah.
The Cowardly Dog.
Courage.
Curious
the-
George.
Yeah. No. Anyway, I
Yeah,
remember that show.
I don't remember having that up here. I know we used to get kind of like Teletoon or whatever would license them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But White TV was always Nickelodeon stuff, right?
For sure. Yeah. But yeah, so you're definitely choosing every time. Like, if you're spending your own money, I'm talking in the future too.
Okay.
Do you see yourself spending your own money on a trip to go somewhere cold?
Probably not, unless it's like I'm visiting a friend.
That's it. You're never
Yeah.
going to
I mean,
the Swiss Alps to go skiing.
no,
or
that's not
hunting
kinda
in
me.
Alaska.
Unless,
or, I don't. I'm,
yeah, no, that's not for
Could
me. I'm not.
hunt
I mean, sure, I'll go to like if I have a friend and I want to visit, like I don't know, in Sweden or whatever. I'll
Yeah.
go there. I'll spend a week there, hang out with them or whatever.
Or-
or if I'm going for an event, like say I don't know, I want to go to a CS:GO major that happens in the country. Sure, I'll go to that and watch that. But otherwise, like going to the Swiss Alps and skiing or whatever.
or what about to see like somewhere in Europe to go see like a war memorial or something like that, or an old church and that kind of stuff? Is that not
Nah, it doesn't excite me.
okay? No, I'm just curious. I'm just curious about other people
Mhm.
than myself because I know how I feel, and I'll talk about.
I
it
mean,
in a
I
minute,
would. I have to admit, if there was one city I would like to go to or country, it would be Japan. Though.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna
Mm.
say that.
Yeah,
I would. That's high on my list too.
Mhm.
very high. High on that bucket list.
So Phil,
For me?
for you, I know you've done quite a bit of more traveling than myself. I don't know about
a little
Will,
bit
but
there, a little bit
you've
here
been
and there.
you've been across the old sea a couple times.
The old pond, as they say.
Yes.
Well, yeah. So for me to pick if I would want to be more of an excursion kind of guy or sitting on a beach, if it's a vacation, are we talking like going just to a single spot and planning a vacation, or is it like am I going with my family, see my family kind of thing?
What do you mean? Like see, or as if like you're,
Like if you're saying like Phil, you get a week off work, here's plane tickets to go to X place.
I'm saying like you have to save your money that you earn throughout the year. Would you rather spend that on a trip to sit and relax, or a trip to view and experience?
Experience a culture.
The big
or-
thing I want to
Okay.
base the question around is the fact that like you know what I mean, we're not millionaires, we don't have the means that we
No,
can just do
absolutely.
this whenever we feel, so it's something that we have to pick and choose where we would like to spend the money we do have on a trip like this. So
Okay,
I'm
so-
just curious different people's perspectives.
So then for me, that's a solid, I'm going straight to a hot place, hot country, nice beach, and sitting my ass on that beach or around that pool and not doing anything. No excursions. I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere because I'm not meant to be there to be doing anything. I want to be running around. I'll be at home running around. You know what I mean? I'm going to relax. I've always thought of it that way. The only other times I haven't thought of it that way is when I've gone to Poland to see my family, and it's been an event happening, a wedding, or unfortunately a funeral or whatever it may be. So
yeah.
but yeah, I would be definitely sitting on a beach and relaxing, kicking my feet up, doing minimal as possible, conserving all energy. But at the same
It doesn't
time,
sound like a bad trip.
no, not at all, right? But at the same time, there's something else about going back to like your parents' homeland and experiencing all of that, seeing what they saw when they were kids, and
Well, and you've done that.
a few times, right? And even just going to other places, like when
Not
I
to
went
get
to France.
personal, sorry.
No, I know that, but like even going to France with my dad and my uncle and my brother-in-law, like that was wicked. I never thought I'd be going to France to go see, first of all, a soccer game, second of all, and we went through the city. We were just downtown.
Old.
Old.
I always say that to people about Europe because I've never been. and it's the streets to me more than I
The
know
cobblestone.
I know the
streets.
buildings, yeah, and the cobblestone, and more just the fact that you're looking down at a road that's been a road for what, 3, 4, you don't know,
Centuries.
yeah, longer. Who knows how long the roads have been there? Because I mean, Europe is old, man.
Yeah,
Like,
well, you got to think
parts
about
of Europe are hundreds of years old. Like
Canada is just as old too. You know what I mean?
for sure. But when I look at my street sign outside with the green street sign and the poppy leaf, all respect to the soldiers whose names are on these streets, but that alone tells you how young the streets are.
Oh, absolutely. No, I mean
that's more my example.
No, not everywhere, obviously in Canada, but yeah, no, some populations. But like when I went to Nova Scotia, when we went through the Alexander Keith's factory, actually where I got this hat, there was one thing that she pointed out, which I found so fascinating. The archway that was primarily used by the horseback carriages.
Okay.
It was so tight of a turn that every time that they went around, their hub on their wheel would hit the wall. So over so many years of those horses coming in and out, that one section of the wall was just grounded out smooth just for that hub wheel.
That's super cool.
And
Nova
it was
Scotia's
still like that to this day.
like a hub as far as, coming over.
Yeah, so it's like, think about a corner of the wall.
Oh yeah, no,
but then it being like engraved out.
Oh no, I meant coming over, like people coming over from Europe to land.
Yeah.
In Canada, like Nova Scotia was, one of the first places
harbor.
people.
That
exactly.
was the harbor.
That's what I meant. No, I totally know what you mean about the wall. That's insane.
It's so for me. But then again, like I said, to go back to Poland, I would love to. But I know what that endures. It's going to be we're walking around, we're taking the subway, we're taking the train car, whatever it may be, to get from A to B or C.
What if it's because you guys both said hot, and I just like this conversation. What if it's Australia? Are you spending your money to go to Australia, but you're not going to a beach? Like you're going to kind of explore the outback of Australia?
No. Yeah, I'm not one for wildlife in the middle of nowhere. That's not me.
Yeah, fair. No, that's why
There's
I asked.
a lot of poisonous things out there. I think I would stick to the beach, honestly, still. The coastline.
For sure.
Yeah, Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
My sister has some experience out in Australia, so I always got my pointers from her.
Yeah, no, I've never been. That's somewhere I do want to go, but like you guys said, there's a lot of poisonous shit. And all the best to everything that happened over there with the fires and everything last month in December and end of 2019 into 2020. But yeah, I guess this is where I'm different. I've only been on one trip, like I said, as far as like a beach trip, and it was kind of, it wasn't fully my means. I was supported in going on that trip as far as funds. But yeah, as far as spending my own money on a trip to go somewhere, I can't see myself spending over, which is not possible, and I mean to go somewhere for lower, but over $500 to go to a beach and sit down and relax. It's just not my cup of tea. If I'm going to spend that much money, I'm going to go to a Formula One race, or I'm going to go to, a convention in another state and somewhere for Star Wars, or even Comic-Con or something like that. Or I'm going to go, not that I'm a big fan, but I'm going to go to a football game in the States or something.
Yeah.
I'm more of like an event traveler.
Excursion event kind of guy,
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like, it's not that I don't want to sit and relax. We talked about only having the means for certain things. Yes, if I could afford to have 1 week-long trip as well to go to Jamaica or Mexico or Cuba or wherever and spend 1 or 2 weeks sitting and just relaxing, that would be awesome too. I'm not saying that doesn't sound awesome. It's just if I have to make that choice, at least right now at 27, I'm going to be choosing more of those things as far as like things to experience. Go to New York City and, experience New York City in a different type of way like I did this past summer and go places I've never been. I have a huge, not obsession, but I love the States. I don't want to, big them up too much.
It's funny that you say that.
But I'd like to travel at as many major cities in the States.
Have you been to California?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've not in a while. I only went to one time back in 2009, but I went all over. Like we drove from Anaheim all the way up to Santa Monica, so I was in kind of that whole range.
The last vacation I took was when I was visiting my girlfriend at the time. She lives in California.
Yeah.
And it's just I want to say culture shock, but it's more of the geography shock.
Oh, yeah.
Of like the highways going between and through the hills and stuff. And
not everything being so flat.
Everything is a grid, and like you'll be on one corner block and there'll be like a fast food joint, and you'll walk 4 blocks and there'll be those same 2 fast food joints right there. Everything's open 24 hours.
Well, yeah, California is a whole different ballgame because you got to think California has more people in that state than we have in our country.
Yeah.
Which is insane to think about. So yeah, but back to the going to different. I mean, when I say that, I just mean I'd like to travel to Buffalo or not Buffalo, Boston and Philly and DC, and I'd like to go Miami. These like major Austin, some of the major cities in the States. I would like to say I've been there at least once before I need to go all over the whole world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not that I want to say I check all those boxes before I go to Europe. I'd love to go to Europe too. It's just having the different means and the different funds to go on different trips. I don't know. I figured it would be a different conversation. I figured we'd all have different opinions too.
If you had to pick one place in Europe you would travel to, where would it be?
I have to say Italy.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
I feel most of us would probably say Italy. I mean, you probably would say Poland because
maybe
I'd say Poland right
I was
now.
gonna say maybe somewhere different because you've been there twice or once.
No, I would just go somewhere different in Poland.
Fair.
okay.
Maybe go
fair
to
enough.
Wrocław or Krakow.
Yeah, see, I'd be going to Sicily.
Yeah, I'd
for
probably
sure.
Maranello, somewhere like that, you know.
For racing, yeah, absolutely. Second choice, somewhere in England. You maybe I don't know. I want to say France too, but somewhere in England, maybe even shout out to our boys there, 3 Legs 4 Wheels. I'd like to check out Isle of Man, and maybe at some point during the TT, because then it would be worth.
That's a solid second place for sure. Going to UK, yeah.
You know, and specifically the Isle of Man, just because I don't know, it sounds like such a cool, different, unique place for it to be on its own little It's like a PEI of the UK in a way. I don't know. It would be cool.
As for my second, I don't know. I want to say France, but I have no reason why. Like Paris, France, but I have no specific reason why.
If I were to go to France, I'd have to go to somewhere like Bordeaux. That's like specific wine country that's been making wine for 400 years. Like I would want to, if I'm gonna go to France, and obviously you want to see the Eiffel Tower and all that shit, but
It's the Italian in him.
But
wine.
I'd want to see some serious wine. That was my favorite type of wine when I took the wine classes. I did it for school years ago. So is the Bordeaux wine, but yeah, I don't know. I know you can go on trips for like $700 or whatever to Cuba and stuff like that, which I could maybe see myself spending something like that, but I
You
don't
won't
know.
get the best experience though, man. That's the
you
problem.
wouldn't.
Yeah,
No,
you're-
you wouldn't.
No, you're probably right.
You probably need at least $1,000 to at least get a week at a all-inclusive resort or whatever.
And that's just when I see something like that, and maybe it's just where I am at this point in my life, I would rather take that money and either spend it on the podcast or a trip like Formula One.
Yeah.
100% fair.
Or a different sporting event, or the one I really want to go on, which probably is not going to happen next year, but Star Wars Celebration's going back to Anaheim, I believe, next year. So I would love to go to that, but again, it's the funds, right?
Ooh, that's a toss-up.
But
man.
that's what gives me the decider, is because like I don't have the money to go to that anyway. But if I did, there's no way I'm going to a beach. Are you kidding me? I'm going to that I'm going to that convention every time.
Okay, so now that you say that, now you have the option. Are you going to Montreal for a full weekend race, or are you going to Anaheim for Star Wars convention?
This year? Well, I'm
Well,
already
next year, 2021.
I don't know, man. Like
If they were
Put 'em
happening,
on a
if they
spot.
happened in the same week, which one would you choose to go to?
and I had the funds to go to both.
Yes.
And it's just a matter of picking A or B.
Is it Montreal? Or is it any F1
You
race?
know what? We'll say Singapore.
Oh my God!
Oh,
no,
then
that,
it's-
no, that's too obvious.
It's going to be Singapore. And the only reason I don't want to make this seem like Montreal isn't an amazing race to go to, and I don't have a fucking amazing time we're going, and me and you are probably going to be going to that one.
Would
maybe,
like to.
Maybe you too, and we'll see at that point. But probably the Celebration, because I haven't been to the Anaheim Convention Center in Orange County if this is the caveat, if the Celebration was at the exact same place in Orlando, I'd probably go to the F1.
Okay.
But I'd like to go back to California. That would check one box. I'm in Cali. 2, I'd like to see that whole convention center. 3, it's in Anaheim. If I can go see a Ducks game while I'm there, checked. I can do that as well. So that would be
Bucket list getting checked.
And yeah, so I'm thinking probably the convention, but
All right. What about you, Phil? If you had to go somewhere for an event, what event would you go for?
It'd probably be a Counter-Strike tournament in Poland.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because it's funny because they always have the major in Poland, right? So in Katowice and stuff. So.
Yeah, Katowice.
And that's actually coming up in February. So
serious? The major for Counter-Strike is in Poland?
Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like V1.
They have a few majors.
What are the odds?
Around,
they have multiple.
Yeah, but like
I
one of them,
I would probably be in the same boat it's either some kind of Formula One or a big race somewhere like Le Mans or whatever.
That would be a good one. Or Daytona even.
The Nürburgring 24.
Yeah.
It's either something like that, or I'd go to some kind of e-sport event somewhere.
The only reason why I say Poland is just because of the fact that I've been there, and it'd be another city to see in Poland, and yeah, it would be Counter-Strike. But like, if you put it in that perspective, like if I had a choice to go see a F1 race to somewhere else, then I more than possibly would take that option too. Whether it be even in Russia, even though I don't ever want to go there, but
no, and yeah, the only reason I was asking for where the race is because at that point I will have been to 4 or 5 Canadian Grand Prix in a row, and I've never been to Anaheim Convention Center. I
mean, I believe most of us, if all of us had the option to go to the Monaco Grand Prix, we would probably go to Monaco.
Yeah, there's few things I'd be picking.
Did we get a yacht?
Yeah,
if we get a yacht, we're going.
We're
going. I will have the beer stocked for him. Don't worry.
I'll sit anywhere. I'll sit in somebody's car and just listen to the car drive by.
Can I sit in Valtteri Bottas's condo and watch the race from there?
If I'm going to Monaco, if I had any place to stay at Monaco, it'd be at one of the hotels looking right over the start-finish line, where you could like lean over the balcony and see the cars below you.
I'd want to be somewhere near turn 1, because then you can look left and you can look up.
Sandoval.
Yep, and then you can look right. Or straight, I guess.
Start-finish line.
And it would be the start-finish line. That would be, I think that's
and
where...
you see all the pit lane. And
I honestly think that's where Leclerc said his house was when he was a kid, somewhere near there. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, hot trips, cold trips. And that all being said, I'm at the point now Phil knows what I'm going to say, but I would love to take a trip to Alaska. Like, I really, really want to. But I just can't yet because I don't have the... shout out to my boy Chris, because we were talking about like doing camping and stuff. He's like, you should just try camping in the backyard and actually just trying and sleeping in the backyard for a couple nights and seeing how you can do. And like he said pull out the wood stove and everything. I was like, I don't know how legal I can get with the wood stove and a tent in my backyard. That all being said, I don't know, maybe. But Alaska is something I would, but that might be a check back with me in 5 years, and if I've learned a lot more about hunting and survivalist stuff.
So when you say go to Alaska, do you say go to Alaska and like stay in a hotel, or go in Alaska, or like actually camp out in Alaska?
Oh no,
he gets dropped by a helicopter in the middle of nowhere and made to survive.
No, that's a little much. That I'm not saying I would never do that either. I just mean that would require serious training
and
gear, and just years of like, I don't know how to butcher a moose, let alone kill the thing. If I do kill it, then what? Like, I got to take the thing apart and bring it back to my, there's a lot of stuff that I would need to learn if I was going to do something like that. I just meant, like, I like wilderness. I really, really enjoy, even if I were to go to somewhere like fucking Montana in the States, I don't have to go to Alaska, or even when we're in Canada, for Christ's sake. People are probably listening like, why don't these guys want to travel anywhere in Canada? I could easily go somewhere up northern Canada, in Algonquin Park, and stay somewhere like that. I'd want to go camping in a setting that's not dropped off in the middle of nowhere, but at the same time, I don't want to have another campsite beside me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? I want to find that middle ground.
That's the type of thing that you would have to drive to a campsite and then unload the car
and walk
and hike your ass out into the middle of nowhere, but somewhere that you know where you are. You know what I mean?
As much
on a
compass and a map.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fair enough.
Which I'm pretty good with a compass. My biggest thing at that point, and this has turned into be pretty long, which is pretty good, is fucking bears and mountain lions, bro. Especially bears. Like, I don't know if there's a bigger fear that I have than like a bear coming at me. Even though as much as I love wilderness, it's just like that would be insane. And listening to enough stories of bear attacks and stuff, it's not somewhere where you want to be.
No.
Yeah.
Ever. But I figure it was a big deal. It happened this week. We'll move on. We got our 3 topics in. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I got to try and find it here. Give me a second. But I figured since it happened this week, and feel free to jump in as much as you feel like you can or will. But I want to just talk about the winners of the Royal Rumble this week, just very quickly. Drew McIntyre and Charlotte respectively won the men's and the women's Royal Rumble in WWE. And I don't know, I just wanted your opinion of that, Will, and then I'll give you a little bit of mine. We watched it, myself and Donovan and the crew here.
Drew McIntyre, big up. Happy they're starting to finally pull the trigger. I just hope that come Mania they don't do like what they do with Roman Reigns and just kind of have him lose when no one expects him to.
I hope not. I certainly hope not there.
And as for Charlotte, I mean, I don't know if Charlotte's the best choice. I get she's kind of like, you know, one of their biggest names are trying to make her the biggest women's star that they have.
Mm-hmm.
But I still feel like maybe someone like Baszler would have been a better choice, honestly.
You're taking the words out of my mouth, man. I ditto both. I'll go back to Drew first because Drew, it's so nice and refreshing to see them pick somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Shinsuke, I guess, in 2017 was kind of a newer pick, and that was somebody that was, you know, not so established. Because if you go back, man, like 16, Roman Reigns? 15 Roman Reigns, 16 Triple H, 17 was Randy Orton, my bad, 18 was Nakamura, 19 Seth Rollins, 20 Drew McIntyre. So you had a lot of guys in there, like with the Triple H's, the Randy Ortons, and the Roman Reignses, that it's just like, do any of these guys need to be winning the Royal Rumble right now?
Yeah.
Let's build somebody up. And they did it with Shinsuke, and they did what you said. They had him go to WrestleMania, and he lost. I still enjoyed that storyline. I know that wasn't the most popular thing amongst wrestling fans in 2018. I enjoyed the AJ Shinsuke stuff. Drew, yeah, let's hope. I mean, I don't want to make it so it's like the story's already told now, and it's fucking February. But let's hope that he wins that belt from Brock in maybe the main event. I don't know if they'll put that on last, but in the main event of WrestleMania. Either way, it's going to be interesting to see how they build up that going forward to from now until
100%.
WrestleMania. And then Charlotte, same thing, man. Fucking why? Like, it's not like she's a bad choice, and it's not like she's a shitty wrestler or a bad character, but it's just like, why does she need to win the Royal Rumble right now? She's not retiring in the next 5 to 8 years, I don't imagine. So she can win she can win some in the future. She doesn't have to win this one just because she hasn't won the Rumble yet. And we've only had 3, and oh my God, Charlotte hasn't won one yet. We're going to make sure Charlotte gets a win. Obviously that's not what they're thinking, but that's how it feels. And I just don't think that they made the right choice. The right choice, in my opinion, was, you know, someone like a Liv Morgan or someone even lower than Shayna Baszler would have been ideal, because then you can really skyrocket the character.
Naomi, because she's back.
Exactly, yes, somebody like that. But what I said, and shout out to, I was on the Wells Mania podcast, I gave my predictions last week. I was saying I wanted Shayna Baszler, and I thought they were going to go with Nia Jax. So either one of those, in my opinion, would have been a way better choice than putting Charlotte in that position, because now I'm just not excited to have Charlotte cross my fingers she doesn't choose Becky, because I don't need to see Charlotte Becky again, especially whenever it takes place at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, wasn't it last year going into Mania, Charlotte didn't have any reason to be at Mania, really, or in any title match, and she just kind of worked her way into a feud out of nowhere?
Yeah, no, not it was basically I don't think that they could trust, or they trusted Becky and Ronda to carry the main event on their own. So they had to add Charlotte. Not that they didn't trust Becky. It was just, if you have both of them in there, it's going to be a little bit easier.
And I guess if we got to mention something, I want to give a shout out to Edge returning. That's big. I remember watching him retire on Raw, and just
incredible. Sorry to cut you off, but I got to give him one of these
fucking
too.
Scared me.
Because that was amazing. And I almost like, it was like one of those pops where it takes a second. Like I heard his music and I'm like, oh yeah, Edge. And I'm like, wait, oh, Edge. Holy shit, Edge.
I wanted, because I wasn't here to watch it with you guys, but what was the pop like when he came out?
It was honestly lower than you would expect, because Donovan, I think, not that he had spoilers, but he had read something or rumbling. Same with Younger. I had taken such a step back from watching or reading anything pro wrestling in the last 3 weeks, I want to say, that I had no idea. Like, it was completely, oh shit, Edge's, I didn't think he could wrestle at all. I thought it was weird when he had the one bump that he landed when he had his hand on his neck, but I guess he's just being extra cautious. And then what we saw, did you watch the highlights from Raw? Yeah. That was incredible. They teasing a comeback with Randy Orton, and then Randy Orton turning on him completely and beating the shit out of him. And I'm assuming this is
a chair shot to the head.
Oh, concerto.
Yeah.
To the head, which is Edge and Christian's classic move. So it'd be interesting to see how that builds up from now till WrestleMania 2, because I'm assuming that's what we're gonna get. I don't think it's gonna culminate at Fastlane.
No.
If I had to make a guess.
I mean, last year we had Triple H and Batista, and I guess now we're getting Randy and Edge. So I guess they're getting to that point where they're the veterans, starting to get their matches out of the way,
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
No. There's not many left. That's the thing. There's not many people that they can call back to the well of the Kurt Angles and the Goldbergs of the world to come back and have these comeback matches, right? But yeah, did you want to get in any other stuff?
Wrestling related, no, but a bit of F1 though.
Yeah, here. I might as well. I'll bring it old school.
All right. Oh.
I figure we do a wrestling and a pro wrestling or
So you said you
Formula
had,
1 podcast.
You said you had some F1 stuff to talk about?
I just had a little kind of quote. I honestly realized that my phone is where the information is, and we're filming a video with my phone, so I don't have it. It was.
All right.
I might be able to pull it up online if you give me a sec, but it was to do with Alonso and Lewis.
Okay. I'll just jump over to mine then.
Perfect.
It was some news came out about Mercedes set for crunch meeting to decide whether it will quit F1.
Really?
What?
When was this? Today? Or
Yeah, it's some year reported on Race Fans.
okay, yeah. Don't even. Yeah.
To keep going or.
No. I just meant the date's not that important. I just learned how new it was.
Yeah, it was like today. It was written like pretty much today, and they're saying that they're within 2 weeks they're trying to decide whether or not they're going to quit F1 at the end of the 2020 season
Wow.
as a constructor.
So that almost blows everything that we thought of them thinking of having the cars ready for 2021. Wow.
Well,
Wow.
And I mean, it might also spark reason as to why McLaren is becoming a Mercedes engine again, because that's why they left Mercedes in the first place, is because Mercedes had a works team, and they didn't want to play second fiddle. But now Mercedes is leaving, McLaren can become that works team again.
Interesting.
That's pretty big news.
yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading here that as of an hour ago or 2 hours ago, Mercedes they're denying it. The chief executive Ola Kenneth, I don't know how to pronounce that, has denied that Mercedes is preparing to pull the plug on F1's operations in 2021.
Jeez.
Okay.
And that's like the top. Like all I did was type in F1 into Google, and those are the top 3 things that popped up.
All right. Fair enough.
Is all wild reports suggest Mercedes may leave F1 after 2020, and then I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's basically the top boss is kind of, I don't know, saying that isn't happening. But hey, man, you never know. I mean, if they win,
happens all the time in wrestling to say it's not happening, and it does. I mean,
exactly, and it's one of those things where at that point, who knows? I don't want to say they've already won because we're going to do a whole fucking year of talking about it this year on the F1 update. But if they win the 2020 championship, that's what, 7 in a row?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they walk away feeling unfulfilled.
I mean, and that's also kind of what Mercedes does. They show up to a series, they don't win, they dominate, and then they leave. Right? They have a history of doing that. They did it with Le Mans early in the late 90s and stuff until the whole flip cars thing. They did it early when they first came to F1 in the 50s, and then they left for a bit. Like they do have a history of doing that, showing up, dominating, and then leaving.
Yeah, the one thing I found it here that was on my phone, but I just went on the F1 website. It was nothing major. It's not news. It's more just I thought it was interesting. Alonso was making some comments about Hamilton and basically saying that he's raised his level. He said Hamilton has raised his level his last couple years, especially in 2019 when the car has not been as dominant as other seasons. If he cannot win, he's very close second and not 20 seconds further back, which is what happens a little bit with Valtteri. A weekend when the car is not competitive, Bottas will finish 5th or 6th or a minute behind. Lewis is not. I just thought that was interesting that it's Alonso coming out and giving the big ups to Lewis, and they have stuff here about, I guess, Hamilton grateful for a text message he got from Alonso. So I don't know. It's nice to see that those two legends and former teammates are continuing to keep in touch.
Yeah. Especially when they had that big fallout earlier on before the decade, and then I guess they made up since they went to different teams, and it's good to see that respect back between them.
Yeah, no, interesting. We'll get into more of this stuff definitely in, I don't know, the coming weeks, months, and years, hopefully, with you guys.
Weeks?
Yeah.
Months? Years?
Months, years, weeks.
Decades.
But unless there's anything else you guys want to get in, I think we can probably close her down for the Roundtable, episode 69.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's been
Nice.
good.
You wanted to ask about the liveries, but that's up to you.
Yeah, we'll get into it on a bigger, more F1
Yeah, I want to see
centric.
these cars.
Maybe, like I said,
See them first, then we'll react.
that
They
and
gave us a little teaser with the engine startups.
yeah. Oh yeah, you'll hear more of that. I told you the F1 update's coming. We're gonna do some sort of kind of weekly, maybe not weekly, but bi-weekly F1 show talking about the Grand Prix and just news that isn't necessarily the LookBack shows. But this was fun. This was good.
Yeah. Always fun.
3 different topics. First time that we've officially done one of these, I guess, with only 3 topics. And yeah, I don't know, went well. If you guys don't already, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at The LookBack Show. Hit us up on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, YouTube, Google Play. That's where you can find all the shows on there. Hit the 5 stars. Leave us a good comment, preferably a good one. I see you. People watching. Hit up teespring.com/thelookback if you want to get yourself a t-shirt, mug, sticker. Like I said, there's a banner probably on the way. I put out a new shirt that's got the car on it as well as a wrestling ring. Check out both of them. Pretty cool. Designed by yours truly. And don't forget to check out the sponsor at hemp_labs_Canada on Instagram. It's Hemp Labs Canada. Canadian product, CBD oil, bath bombs, creams, all kinds of great products on there. Check them out. If you want any more information, check out at Justin.Brothers. He'll get you more. We're going to probably get him on an episode of the Roundtable, so we'll get all kinds of information on the product that day.
Wicked.
With that all being said, like I told you before, this is the LookBack Podcast, Roundtable episode 69. I am Nick.
I'm Will.
And I'm Honda Tech Phil.
Stay classy.